Buddy, peace, peace, peace. All right, so I'm gonna go over um, the supernatural and the paranormal and bring it to a basic ghost hunt, if you will, or ghost investigation in what we're experiencing in the world. Okay, this is an EMF pump. Okay, they use it when you're in a house or wherever a location to for the entities to have energy, to be able to communicate more, to be able to form, and things like that. Okay? Now, I'll show you something. Uh, I'll show you something. I'm going to go to here. It's an EMF pump. Same thing. Used differently, but it does the same thing on a mass scale. Okay, then we have oops, pull that up. Then we have this. It's a portal opener, a realm opener. We also have water that's a realm and a portal opener. So my point is with all of this, these images, okay, of Nibiru, etc. Um, it, everything they show us comes in a ball of water. Seems to be, okay. Hold on, let me. One second. Let me go to my channel real quick. Okay, so then we have on a massive scale these things. These are supernatural entities that they keep calling planets. Okay, so you think about what they in 2020 they did with the towers. Okay, that was another level of like an EMF pump to be able to do what they're doing, opening realms, opening portals, allowing um, these energies in that weren't able to do that before. So it's on a larger scale of how this is coming in here. Okay, they want you to think this is a planet. Okay, it's not. It's a huge being, and how they did that was, hold on, I'll show you. I'm gonna try to explain this for the layman to understand too. Okay, then you have the sun. That's an energy. So there's a between the solar flares, the radar, because they're using the radar to scan. They're using the radar to scan what's coming through. And we're seeing the chariots, the solar boats, the river of souls. Then you have these people out here saying that it's planets. And to break it down to a basic, like when you go to a paranormal investigator location, okay, you don't need a lot. You really don't. It's great to have a lot of cameras, but you don't need a lot. But they have a lot of equipment now. So like I said, they have the EMF pump. That's the same thing as power lines. All right, it's the same thing as your cable wire. It's the same thing. It's just on a larger scale. So now on a larger scale, you're going to attract and draw in, along with CERN, that's just opening up portals, bigger energy, bigger entities. And then you have scripture, which is describing, because I tell you, 50 years ago, no one would have grasped. Even today, there's people that still can't grasp, but that's okay. Reading scripture, you would have never been able to grasp that it's a supernatural event. Like even when you read about Ezekiel's wheel, like that's like what? When you first read it, it's like, huh? A wheel within a wheel, and wow. But the more you start understanding that it took all of this energy with the sun, with the radar upgrades, with God only knows what else they're doing with CERN, these eclipses. Eclipses are energy, whether they're fake or not, doesn't matter. They're still energy. A created eclipse is still energy. These solar flares, these X class, that's to break the veil down to see what's here, opening things up, changing, shifting the plasma. So now when you think about Ezekiel's wheel, it's not so well, maybe it is for some people, but it's really not so far out there about a plasma ball, a movable, pliable wheel within a wheel within a wheel, plasma being, plasma entity, plasma chariot, plasma horses, plasma dragons, plasma shift. So this is a huge paranormal investigation, and they're using huge equipment, okay, right on our houses, right down to the house. Depends on how much, like I remember years ago I did an investigation on private residence, and I couldn't believe the level of EMF this lady had in her house. And it made sense to me the more I was doing research on this. And then it just hit me like on a massive scale. Like on a massive scale how this is happening. With all of the things that this world is doing. Like they shut down the radar for 2 hours. Come on now. Something significant was seen that they didn't want people seeing. I don't believe it was a blackout, like, it just blacked out. No, they didn't want people seeing the levels of this is at. Because this is at levels now that they can't hide. So when you're doing this, this is like a really huge paranormal investigation, okay? These tornadoes are portals and energy to bring these energies through, just like it's written in scripture. But now we're seeing it. And they're using all this radar to detect it, okay? And then when they talk about seeding, okay, and harp and all that stuff, think about that as a huge piece of a paranormal equipment to amp up, okay? If you want to believe they created it, I don't believe that for a second. I think that they feed it. I think that they've opened up things that they probably shouldn't have. But then again, everything is in divine timing. Everything. Everything. And they're scared. So they're going to be paying more attention to what's coming through because, the genie's out of the bottle now. You can't get the genie back in the bottle. It's like Pandora's box is open, but at the bottom is hope. You never forget that. So they're using all this equipment to scan the skies, scan the rate with the radar. That's a scan, okay? Okay, I'll show you a paranormal equipment. Hold on. That they use, okay, these, it's the same idea, okay? Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. It's called a light grid, okay? It's called a light grid, so that you can see a being or an entity move through this. And it's green, just like what? The radar. This is what they're doing. So think of the radar as this huge paranormal grid that they're using to map out what's here. Because now they got to keep an eye on it. So I just felt, I don't know, I felt it was kind of important because I was listening to the Nibiru people, and let me tell you something. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I tried saying this to them. They didn't want to hear it. It was you had to use, it was very narrow-minded, and I thought, that's weird. How can you be that narrow-minded or come across that narrow-minded? Rephrase that. Come across that, and you're trying to convince people the planets are here. Okay, because this is what. Let me show you. Let me show you real quick. If I can figure it out, just give me a second, okay? Let me turn down the volume. Out of respect. Okay, let's pull up a picture here. Wait a second here. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to find this picture. And this is all great footage from them. Don't get me wrong. They're trying to say these are asteroids. I find that odd. I find that very odd. Okay, because I just don't see asteroids. Okay, and then hold on. I want this a specific picture. And I'm like watching this, going, huh? I get it. Like I was getting it, but like I get how to explain it. And I am, because I think that's lacking in a lot of what these, and then to hear this dude admit that it's like supernatural was just like, come again? Come again? Can you repeat that? Because you didn't want to hear that years ago when I kept saying that, because maybe he didn't want that getting out. I don't know. You can see the face in that, but they want you to convince you that's a planet. I don't know. Behind the light. And again, I'm not here to put anybody down. I'm not. I just get the paranormal stuff of this, and then hold on, let me back up. Sorry about that. I am a real person, and I'm doing this on the fly to show you. So I don't want to lose my way of like doing this because it makes sense. Sorry, it's like buffering. They have great images, don't get me wrong. They have great captions. They're convinced they're seeing planets and I don't know, whatever else they're seeing. I'm trying to find this one picture. I'm sorry. Maybe I took a screenshot of it. That might just be easier. Just give me a second. I apologize. Yeah, I did. Okay, here's some, alright, like this. Actually, this is Planet X Hunters. That's a face. That's a face coming through. Because of things like this. That's EMF. That's EMF. That's an antenna. That is a way of the energy to connect into our world. Through our televisions, through our phones, through Wi-Fi, all of it, the whole shebang. And then they're using the radar as a supernatural grid. Okay, you can see that. It's a big lion. It's a huge lion. You can see the mane right here, the eye, and the snout. I don't think I took snapshots of, sorry, just give me a second. I might not have. Oh, this is the new bug that's going to be here. Isn't that just attractive? Thing is freaky. That is creepy. Gross. And they parachute. There's a word. Parachute. Okay, I mean, I don't know what we're looking at here, but that is not a planet. Okay, it's just like I can't anymore with it, and it's just funny to hear him use the word supernatural now. It's like, huh, interesting. I'm glad to hear it because that is the truth. It's super. Look at the sun is actually. This is gold. Whatever this is gold. For real, that's gold. I don't know what exactly that is. It kind of looks like a gorilla head or some kind of head carving on something gold, you know. So now, yes, they're using the space station, we'll call it that, as a grid, and they're doing an in-between grid. They're gridding this and they're mapping it out. They're doing it from what they call the space station, and then they're doing it from the ground radar, which is the Doppler radar. So they're gridding everything to see what's coming through. They know what these storms are. They do. They absolutely know what these storms are. That's why they're shutting down the radar and they don't want you to see. You know, they can't prevent it. They can't stop what is already happening, and they're not going to be able to keep hiding it. And I don't know. Maybe not everybody sees it. Maybe even I don't know. I think when all is said and done, everybody will. I think that's part. I believe that's truly part of the promise. With that. So yes, they are conducting, call it NASA, I don't know, whoever else, they are conducting a significant paranormal investigation using the radar, the space station, the satellites, um, you know, with the EMF and whatever else I'm missing. All of that is the same level as paranormal equipment when you go on an investigation. They have cameras everywhere. It's the same thing. It's the whole world is set up for a significant paranormal investigation. And that's just, I don't know if anyone's ever been out there done a paranormal. Like if you've never been on a paranormal investigation, okay, when you enter your location, hopefully you feel it out and say your prayers always. Protect your energy. But you usually have a recorder with you, a K2 meter, uh, camera, definitely. The places, depending on where it is, but usually there's cameras all over the place to capture any kind of evidence. Now think of that, the world. They're doing the same thing. Just like we're doing. When we film the sky and we look at sky cams, it's a paranormal investigation, no matter how you slice it. So, and they have attracted with these big, massive EMF pumps, if you will, and the water, and they're you and then I pay attention. So normally in the water, well, that activated the water, so now the water's activated, so now the water's at a different energy level, which is creating something else to come toward it or attract to it or whatever that we don't even know yet, because believe me, something's going to go on with the water and something that we don't know exists with the water. um, these ancient plates that we call earthquakes are moving. So they've used, okay, so when you're at a paranormal, sometimes a place will like do things to try to amp up the activity. I don't suggest that, but they do things like that. Like I've been on investigations where they've had a water feature where they create, so that's creating energy, right? Well, we have water features all over the world. I mean, Niagara, in the United States alone, the Great Lakes, Niagara Falls is a huge water feature to call in, pull in, and attract paranormal supernatural energy and create portals. Even when you see the mist in the rain, okay, or a waterfall, that's a portal. That's a portal. Like it's not complicated, but okay, so back to an investigation, to try to capture the evidence or whatever, but unless you know how to close a portal, you're leaving things open, and they're leaving things open to enter our world that wasn't allowed to, and now it is. But remember, the divine is in charge always, always, and always. Always. These things are being foolish to think that they can control whatever it is they're trying to control and create whatever it is they're trying to create. Okay? Like, so the seeding, when they, with these storms, okay, even with the harp, they're sending out like an EMF pump to this spot, or these spots, these places, to amp up the energy more. So these types of things can form now in our world where it couldn't before. So since 12, but we'll go to 2017. That's it. That's an energy, that eclipse, significant energy portal. Okay, and then I think we had one in 2020 or 2019. And then the lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, the lunar eclipses. Okay, and then you had two F5 tornadoes that hit Mississippi in 2020. That's energy. So we're dealing with, even in 2020, we're still dealing with 2017 eclipse energy. Energy is not destroyed. It's always moving. It's always changing. So we had that going from the west to the east. And then this one we just had coming from the, what's supposed to be come from the east to the west. But it didn't. It went from the west to the east. Huh. Well, we had another, that one was supposed to go east to west. I think it did. No, because it started It started in Mexico, so it went from west to east. How is that? It was supposed to go from east to west, which I don't even know how that is either. I don't know how an eclipse can go from west to east when the sun and the moon rise in the east, but hey, I'm just saying. Either way, they're moving energy. They're creating more energy. They're creating a flip. And it's attracting in all these other entities to be here for this great convergence at this time. So I hope that made sense. It is, yeah, gorilla. Hi, everybody. I just was really like inspired to kind of go over that, like with bringing it down to the, basic paranormal investigation to worldwide. Worldwide, same equipment, same idea. It's happening, they're using it. And now all these energies are being drawn to it, and definitely more paranormal activity has been amped up. You have more people recording supernatural events that are taking place, paranormal events that are taking place in their homes or around them. Um, Poltergeist activity is probably probably an all-time high, I would imagine. If not, it will be soon, because you just everything we use has EMF energy to it. So we're walking around with EMF pumps. If you think about it, with our phones and our well, we don't walk around with our television, but so you have it in your house, you're carrying it with you. You have it in your car, you have it everywhere you're going. So these dark beings, this dark energy knows how to use that. It's very intelligent. It knows exactly how to use that. So that's coming. It's already happening. And then I don't know what's going to go on with the whole other situation that went down in 2020 and those that did that. That's going to be a whole other situation. Everyone's going to be affected differently with the energy. So we're the paranormal investigation, basically. We are. We're the bait. We're the dang bait for King Kong to come, and we don't even know it. So I don't know. I hope that made sense. Because I really was inspired to. I was seeing, I've been seeing it. That's why I keep saying you're partaking in the biggest paranormal investigation of all time. You call yourself a sky watcher, whatever. You are partaking in a significant paranormal investigation. Every time you turn on your camera, every time you're filming, anytime you're called to do something with God, all of it. It's all paranormal. It's all supernatural. It isn't compartmentalized. And now it's like significant. Now you have plasma, you have volcanoes erupting. That's energy. That's a big one. That's gonna pull in suns. Like I really hope they know. I really hope they knew what they were doing when they started this stuff. But God's in charge, not them. So I can get the whole Ezekiel's wheel. When I saw someone, because it's easy to doubt, be like, that's just made up, or that's photoshopped. People be willing to believe that over like something divine. It's like they're almost afraid. What are you afraid? You afraid you can be made a fool out of or not be made a fool out of? Most likely not be made a fool out of, because not everybody's going to have that gift and the ability to see that. And I feel at some point, yes, everybody will. But I feel right now, there's certain ones of us, because we are connected in and we do seek for our soul. We are experiencing things we didn't know our eyes could even see or existed. And I do get how that plasmatically can be a wheel within a wheel within a wheel and be bronze and with all the eyes. I totally get it. Same with the dragons. All of it. I get it. I really do. And I hope you do too. And hey man, if you want to believe they're planets, I guess okay, but it's bigger than that. And it's hard for me personally to watch that because I know that dude. I know all of them know. Anyone that's out there doing this, they know what's up. They know what's up. There's no way they don't know what's up. And then to be so like cut off from the plausibility that it's a supernatural event. That's narcissism. And then to be talking about it, you know, 4 or 5 years later, and having people on the live who are talking about it. That wasn't allowed. That wasn't allowed on Facebook with that dude. He would chop your head off if you mentioned anything like that and you had to use the word planet. So to at least he's being open. I'm glad he's opening up. Maybe he'll get more honest. That's all we can ask. This isn't to put anybody down. I just have a tough time with that when I feel like that person knows and they're pushing an agenda and it's only gonna hurt people. It's not gonna help people. You know, that's why I love Mud Fossil University. He's just real. And he helps put the pieces together in such a powerful way. You know, yes, he's showing it on the flatland, if you will. Okay? But we all know, like, it's as above, so below. And that helps me understand what I'm looking at, because it is all biological. It's plasma, it's tissue, it's fascia, it's got consciousness, it's deep. It's really deep, and it is supernatural, and it's spiritual, and it's holy, and it's not holy, and it's beautiful. And for this to be here at this time, and they're calling it in, so you are taking part of the biggest paranormal investigation on Earth. All right, let me see. I want to see if there's anything else I wanted to show you before I wrap this up. I really thought I took some screenshots, but I guess maybe I didn't. Um, okay, like this is a good. I forget. This is in Canada. This was like a month ago or so, but still, you know, that's like the plasma being pliable. Archangel Michael kept showing me that too. Like the more we tap in, we can. Energy's pliable, very pliable, and that's a really good power, like example of the power and the pliability. And these are dragons, you know. And I don't know. I just thought it was kind of just made sense. It just made sense. It's a huge being. See him? Maybe I should edit that just a smidge. Put a little. That's all I'm doing. Nothing fancy. I don't ever put anything photoshopped on my channel. I'm just gonna say that. Those are the eyes. I mean, he's clear. It's clear. You know, it's a huge entity. There's a bunch of them. There's one right there. I'm not 1,000 on what these pieces are, but could be beings as well. Oh, I just undid it. Hold it. Sorry. I don't want to undo my edit. Dang it. Sorry, just give me a second. We'll do that real quick. So, I don't know. I just thought it was a really good example of explaining how this whole place now is, the equipment is set up. All the equipment is set up around the world for this paranormal for this supernatural events to take place. And that was a really good example with the power grid with the green. And they always use that color, the Scooby-Doo green, you know, that Slimer green. It's evil. It's not supposed to be, though. It's really probably supposed to be connected to Raphael and your heart chakra. It's kind of weird that they use that for that, but they use that green as a grid. I don't know if it's something to do with the energy and the energy of the entities that show up with the green, maybe, which could be. But I don't know if you've ever seen an entity that's walked through a grid like that. I mean, we do. Technically, we do if you watch the radar, but, like, I'm talking, like, in a small area in real time, like, in your house or something. About right in here, this orb here. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, energy, Powerball. We got power brokers here. And these energies, okay, are gonna really freak some of you out. Look at this, a being like right here. And feel like the people who are, you're all wrapped up in your politics, they're just a puppet. They really are just a puppet for something that you can't see. You can't. You think you are, but you can't. And it's all a ruse. It's all a ruse. I don't know. I think you have to get a certain level to really, and it really can become the dark night of the soul. You know, everything that you thought was real and you believed in this construct, if you will, is breaking down. And a lot of people are going to go through even more of a dark night of soul. It's been super reliant upon and all into that stuff. Everyone has different levels of going through this clearly. And I don't say that lightly. It's very serious. Because the matrix is breaking down. A new the original one is being revealed. Um, Darkness is being revealed, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And we want that, and we do. We really want that. I know it's not, and I don't say that lightly either. But this can't keep going on like this. It just can't. It's a broken system. It's a broken template. You know, and it's not political or anything. It's just it is what it is, man. It's just the way it is. It's injustice, and now the scales are getting balanced, and that can be messy. That can be really messy when those scales are getting balanced. But I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. I hope this makes sense to many of you out there with paranormal investigating, and how this is a paranormal supernatural event, and how they're using equipment in the world, the wires, okay, and everything is a piece of paranormal equipment that they're using to watch what's coming through, right down to the radar, harp. That's angel technology. It's stolen angel technology, by the way. Not just for it was taken and used in the wrong manner. So that's what they use it for. It's not that is creating it. They are using it to add to the energy. And that's out of control. I learned that just from paranormal investigating with people that their ego was way too big for their body. It's just their arrogance was going to be their demise and their weakness, and thinking that they were so all that, and they had it under control. That you have no control over the paranormal, you have no control over the supernatural, none, except for your connection with God, for real. And to think and be arrogant, thinking that you can control a situation in a paranormal, like supernatural investigation, that's a lot of ego, and I would be very careful who you investigate with. Always remain humble. Always stay with God. Always call on Archangel Michael. Because this is going to get bigger. It's going to be more will be revealed. And it's going to show up in people, places, and things, just like how God shows up in people, place. God works through people, right? God always shows up. It's the same idea. And I find it interesting that this dude is now had a panel of people literally talking about paranormal events, and I really clean like I itched to my ear, like, am I really hearing this right? Like, is this dude really like finally there? I don't know. Maybe there is hope. I don't know. It is dangerous. It gets people hurt. It gets people really hurt, and but hopefully, yeah, I don't know, hopefully they learn to, but I'm just very careful. Even when I talk about it online, like I felt a responsibility to come on, and I was inspired, like, 'cause I see how this whole thing is like set up like a big paranormal investigation. But that's just because just the way I see and being on them, and I don't know, I just the way I see. And it makes sense to me. It makes total sense to me why they push all this stuff that they do. So And I hope it makes sense to you. And just armor up. Peace out.